You're listening to Crypto at the Ferrum Roundtable, made for the people who want to make the most out of their crypto journey, with the mission of breaking down barriers to mass adoption of blockchain technology. This podcast is brought to you by the folks at Ferrum Network. All information in this podcast is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. The information contained in or provided in this podcast is not intended to be and does not constitute financial advice, investment advice, trading advice, or any other advice.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Crypto at the Ferrum Roundtable. My name's Tom. Please welcome Ian. Hey Ian, how you doing?
Good. Hey, everybody.
Hey, and Nick. Nick, how's it going?
Going good. How's it going?
Yeah, perfect. This is our first community update in 2023, and there's already a lot that's happened, right? But first, before we do that, Ian, your bling blink, your necklace here, what is it? It's shining, it's glowing. What is it? What is it?
Yeah, so I'm super excited about this piece of jewelry, and I am not a jewelry guy. Well, at least I thought I wasn't, but now I guess I am. This piece was produced courtesy of a new project we're incubating called Arc X, and they are pioneers in the kind of realm of what we call smart luxury. So it's these luxury items that have a smart chip component to them. In the case of this Ferrum pendant, what you're able to do is scan it with your smartphone, and it just automatically pulls up the Ferrum website. And that can be programmed to pull up really anything using the ARC technology. And so the future of this this product and this company is about kind of tying the world of Web3, smart contracts, digital assets into the world of luxury. So there's a lot more coming from that project, but yeah, I just got my piece in last week, and I've just been rocking it nonstop. So a lot more to come from them, but shout out to those guys.
Wow, it looks great. It actually looks great. Yeah, I'm super excited to see what ArcX is going to be bringing to the table as well. There's probably going to be much more information in the coming months that we're going to be sharing. But let's just get back to doing a little recap of your favorite achievements by Ferrum Network in 2022. We can start with Ian.
Sure. So the first thing that comes to mind for me is the launch of Crucible. Crucible is our kind of DeFi 2.0 sustainable staking product. You stake Ferrum there, and it actually creates a sort of a wrap version of Ferrum called Crucible Ferrum. And then all the transactions that occur within that ecosystem get sort of redistributed back to stakers, which really, it's a wonderful product. But what I think was really cool about it is that it's sort of emblematic of the fact that you launch something. You have expectations on how the users may use it and how people may react to it, but then oftentimes the reality ends up being quite different, and it's really evolved into something I think is super cool, which is sort of like rewarding the patient. This product really rewards the patient holders amongst the community, and I think that's wonderful. So Crucible is a huge one for us. Obviously, made a lot of headway in the integration side, which Nick may speak on, and MultiSwap, pushing that to alpha, private alpha at the end of the year. But for me, the biggest one was Crucible last year.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that. I definitely think that Crucible locking up over a third of the current circulating supply right now has done wonders for. Especially, in a bear market, no less, did really kind of helped us weather the storm. So that's one thing that I thought was, a huge value proposition of Crucible, not just like the sustainable rewards, but what it does for the overall health of the token economy as well. And then, I was going to say MultiSwap pushing it to alpha at the end of the year. I know our devs were working night and day to get that out by the end of 2022, and they did it. So it happened right at the end, but it was still 2022. So I would say that's, I will probably dive into a little bit more of, how MultiSwap is coming and when the next phase of testing is going to start and stuff. I know later probably in the show here, but when you really think about it, it's like two of the our flagship products were pushed in some way, shape, or form. Crucible obviously to production and MultiSwap into alpha. But I think those are, along with everything else that we were able to accomplish this year, going to our first non-EVM compatible network with Algorand and getting more non-EVM compatible networks on board, kudos from the Cosmos ecosystem. And then, all of the EVM integrations that we've been able to do as well, and bringing, some of those bread and butter products like our staking as a service solutions to projects, building in some of these other ecosystems has been really cool too. So, kind of firing on all cylinders there, new products, old products, multi-chain aspirations and integrations and things like that. So I would say those would be kind of my three main things. Crucible, I concur with Ian, MultiSwap, and the integrations side of things, and just branching out to more networks.
Yeah, I mean, guys, it is really hard to disagree with what you're saying. I'm actually going to add my 3 cents as well, because I joined the team in January 2022, so I've been here for the whole pretty much 12 months.
Tom is my biggest, Ferrum's biggest achievement of Facebook.
But do you know what? I think that this transition that I'm so proud to be part of here at Ferrum, from being an incubator to move into to actually position itself as a really true interoperability player in the Web3 space. I feel like this is so big. This is so big because we're doing things and we're moving so fast as well. With the Crucible, that was pretty much the first addition to the whole interoperability table that we started putting together in 2022. And now we're going through MultiSwap alpha testing. I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud of the team because it's definitely difficult for an already established project to expand that well. And I think that Ferrum team is doing it perfectly well. So actually, once we talk about interoperability, and Nick, you already mentioned MultiSwap. Ian, I've got a question for you. How is the MultiSwap alpha testing going? Sorry, how can people participate in the alpha testing? What's the next kind of stage of this testing, and how is it going?
Yeah, so like Nick mentioned, we were very fortunate that the devs worked extremely hard in the year and pushed out the product in kind of a private alpha capacity at the end of the year. The early part of January was basically spent showcasing that product to our governance committee members. They all tried it out, tested it out, provided some feedback, as did the internal team. And the devs, of course, taking that feedback, implementing that in sort of an updated version that should be coming out in the not too distant future. There is a lot of core functionality that's still being worked on, if I'm being perfectly honest. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So there is still some certainly work to be done, but the early testers, I think, can confirm that the product is working great. It's fast, it's easy to use. The UI UX is beautiful. And one thing I'm really excited about is the fact that this category of product is very much needed in the marketplace, because what it does is allows you to basically buy and sell any token on any chain for any other token on any other chain, as long as those networks are connected to MultiSwap itself. So anyone who invests in altcoins across different chains, you want to send your stuff back to Ethereum, or you have Ethereum, you want to buy something on Polygon, you don't want to use a bridge, this product is perfect for that. And the cool thing we're discovering is that not a lot of people know about this category of product yet. So it's kind of a wide open market. But getting back to your question, the devs are now continuing to work on core functionalities, upgrades based on the early feedback we got from the testers. And we'll be looking to open up another round of alpha testers in the not too distant future. This time we're going to be tapping into the wider community and modeling it largely, I think, on how we launched Crucible. So leveraging Discord, communities within Discord, instructions will be there. Basically, sort of a sign-up system will be in place. And it's really, look, the next batch is going to be for people who are, you don't have to be a whale, you don't have to be a governance committee member, anything like that. It's just people who are paying attention, you're passionate about Ferrum, you're on the channels, you know what's going on, and you're fast enough to basically sign up for the next batch. That's really, I think, how this is going to go. So, for anyone who's following our channels, our Twitter announcement channel, Discord, Telegram, what have you, you're going to have that opportunity to get in and test it out before pretty much anybody else. So it's pretty exciting. Looking forward to the next phase here. It should be coming up pretty soon here.
Wonderful. And Nick, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
No, I mean, I think Ian pretty much covered it. I think the thing that I'm looking forward to most about this next phase of testing is refinery and ionic assets being able to be swapped, because on this initial phase, we just focused on Foundry assets and UX UI tweaks and things like that. So, being able to use these other kind of categories of tokens, the refinery and ionic, which is all outlined in the MultiSwap Architecture Doc and the article that we have on Medium. So if people want to kind of get familiar with what all that means, those are good resources to kind of check out and see how MultiSwap really operates and the architecture of it and how it functions and whatnot. So looking forward to seeing the new features being deployed in the next phase of testing.
Yeah, and guys, if you want to stay up to date, make sure that you're part of the community on Telegram and on Discord. And soon we're going to be releasing more information on how to participate in the next stage of alpha testing for MultiSwap. Now, Nick, another question actually. When can we expect the update to our white paper and the roadmap? Because it's 2023, and I know that we're finalizing the new, not just the content of the roadmap, but also the new design. So what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I could probably drop some good alpha here. For anyone who watches these things, it's always a good idea to watch these because you get some information beforehand. So yeah, I'm really stoked because white paper is, it's been a long work in progress, but every time, we really want to push it out, there's something else that we feel like is necessary to add. And I'm glad we waited as long as we did, because it gave us the ability to add a couple sections regarding nodes and operating nodes, running nodes, which is obviously going to be one of the main questions that people want to ask, especially for folks who hold larger amounts of Ferrum that are going to be looking to kind of help bolster the efficiency of the network and receive some rewards for doing so and validating transactions on the network. So we've got some information coming out about how that's going to be, how that can be done, as well as something that's really important, which is called monetary policy, which is how unreleased tokens are released into circulation to incentivize the validators on the network, how tokens are released to incentivize ecosystem growth, and how the treasury is funded via monetary expansion as well. And so there's a lot of information around that, which is going to be very it's going to provide a lot of insights into the future tokenomics of Ferrum and how that kind of changes as we become more of a network-based approach that facilitates in DApps rather than building DApps that leverage networks. Now we're kind of flipping the script here, and so with that comes a big change in how tokenomics and monetary policy operates. So there's a huge section on that, which is super exciting. So we plan on releasing that around some other big news that we're going to be announcing in regards to Ferrum X as well here very shortly. And so there's that. I think we are looking at around 2 weeks. I don't like to give concrete timelines, but that's kind of the hope here, is that we can get all of that pushed out then. And then in conjunction, we'd also be releasing the new updated roadmap, which is going to be very concise. We're focusing, our focus is very narrow this year. We've got a pretty heavy focus on making MultiSwap the best product it can be. And then from there on out, it's mainnet and testnet updates and getting Ferrum to the point where we can actually start hosting some of these multi-chain applications. So and by way of that, we've seen quite a few updates in the last couple weeks regarding mainnet. One being, last week we actually saw a demo internally, which is going to be turned into a public-facing demo here, I think at the beginning of next week, hopefully, that shows the Ferrum testnet producing blocks, a substrate-based network, the Ferrum Network testnet actually producing blocks, which is really cool. So there's that. Taha will be kind of giving the community some insights as to what all that means, along with a demo of it. Then next week during our internal demo, I think we're going to be seeing a demo of quantum portal transactions actually taking place. So then we'll also be turning that into a community demo that we can be releasing probably within a week or two after the first demo that I just mentioned before. And so that's going to be super exciting, because that has to do with, moving messaging across networks, which is really, really awesome. One of the main things that the Ferrum Network is going to be able to do via Quantum Portal. And then with that, we also today we saw a sneak peek of the UX UI of the Quantum Portal Explorer, which is basically a block explorer for multi-chain transactions, which looks incredible. David, our graphic designer, just did a stellar job on that. And so we're going to be kind of showing that in conjunction with the demo of Quantum Portal transactions happening on testnet. So lots of updates that we're getting that we can't wait to be pushing out. We just want to make sure we're packaging them as best as possible for you guys with good quality content and stuff. So that's what we'll be working on from that side of things over the next couple of weeks. So that's a white paper mainnet roadmap kind of update all in one.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of alpha in there. So thank you so much. I'm pretty sure the community is going to really appreciate that. And whilst you're actually that, chatty and you actually want to spill all the tea, can you tell us a little bit more about the partnerships? What's cooking on this side of Ferrum Network? What's happening? What kind of partnerships we can expect in the near future?
Sure, Tom. Let me spill all the tea.
Yeah, let's go.
I like that phrase. All right, so the things that I'm most excited about in terms of partnerships right now, obviously, I've touched a little bit on integrations, which are still, in full force. We achieved a lot of milestones towards the end of the year and into the first month of this year as well with Algorand. Velis staking is now live on Velis, so we'll be looking to deploy some staking contracts for projects building in that network. And then we've got a few more really hot leads just in terms of like next networks that we'll be launching our products, specifically MultiSwap and integrating MultiSwap with. I don't really want to give names on those now, but there's some really promising stuff that we're in talks with some developer support programs and things over there. So some big names that everyone knows for sure. That'll be really cool. And then the other thing, in terms of MultiSwap and kind of how it differs from a product like Crucible, for instance, MultiSwap can really stand to benefit from partnerships outside, from partnerships, right? Crucible is more of a standalone product that, it's a Ferrum product, right? MultiSwap there can be features that are implemented in MultiSwap that other projects in the ecosystem can help provide, so that we don't have to go build these things out. Talking about things like gasless transactions, helping scaling liquidity, so that we're not having to host all of this utility for routing tokens between the two via some really cool protocols that are coming out. There's things like MEV bot protection. There's all sorts of like really cool features that Ferrum doesn't necessarily have built out and wouldn't really make sense for us to prioritize building ourselves that we can leverage. And so I think there's like probably like 5 or 6, maybe 7 different products that we've got, projects that we're in talks with about some value adds that they could add to MultiSwap to really make it stand out in the competitive landscape. Different features that maybe other similar products on the market don't have. That really can only be leveraged through partnerships. So there's some of that in the works as well. So aside from integrations and integrating with networks that we can source volume from on the aggregator, we can also tap into other partnerships that aren't necessarily networks, that are more like products or applications that can be added on top of MultiSwap. And so that's another thing that we're focusing on. So I think those 2 things are probably the most exciting. And then there's even been some conversations around people who are really interested in Quantum Portal. But that's really premature, right? Like it's mainly been just kind of like, here's what you can expect in like Q3, and let's pick the ball back up when we get there. But those conversations have started, at least like preliminary conversations. So.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Nick. Like I said, I'm pretty sure the community is going to really appreciate all of that. So thank you so much for that. Now, Ian, it seems like the worst days of the bear market are pretty much behind us. Hopefully, fingers crossed. There's no financial advice in here on this show, but that's what it just seems like, and let's just hope that it's going to stay like that. Now, Nick's already mentioned that we are trying to make MultiSwap the most competitive product of its kind in the market. But what do you think? How does Ferrum, as a project, is planning to continue to making sure that we're staying highly innovative and highly competitive? On the plus side, what I want to add to that is towards the end of 2022, we've seen an increase of interest in AI projects, mainly based on the hype of ChatGPT going fully viral online. But all the reports from Delphi Digital, from Masari, they all stated that 2023 onwards is going to be the year of DeFi and interoperability. So there is a lot of competition in the space. What do we do? How does Ferrum Network plan to continue this becoming this innovative and competitive project in the space?
Yeah, it's funny. We were having a similar discussion among the executives recently. And just in terms of how do we ensure Ferrum success continues to be successful over the long haul. I think as a project that's been around for a little while, as opposed to maybe a newer project, newer projects you might be able to survive on hype and just excellent marketing and things like this. But at a certain point, you really just need to deliver something of value to your users and to the wider crypto community. And that's really what we're focused on. I mean, MultiSwap came about. MultiSwap and Mainnet are two good examples of this, I think. MultiSwap came about in large part. Well, yes, you could say it's the architecture of it's an evolution of our bridge product, but it was also solving a tremendous need that we had as really investors in the crypto space. We were, investing in projects that were launching on different chains and having to deal with bridging and the risks associated with that and the headaches associated with that. And we realized, look, this is a problem crying out for a solution. People do not want to have to download like 50 new wallets, have to utilize bridges that they've never heard of. We need to really, for the industry to flourish from the standpoint of like a multi-chain industry, which I think we're indisputably in that world. You need a seamless way to move value across these different chains. And that's what MultiSwap delivers. Click of a button, any token, any connected chain in under a minute. low gas fees, low fees in general, security, in mind first and foremost. We really need this as an industry. And how do we know this? We knew this because we needed it as users, as investors in the space. So that's one example of how I think we're going about it, is just delivering value. On the mainnet side, similar story, right? Like, we again believe that we're living in a multi-chain world, and until that's like been invalidated, and if so, Ethereum or whatever truly takes over as the only chain out there, and I don't think that's going to happen, by the way. We're in this world with many dozens of chains, each with their own unique value proposition, their own communities, their own liquidity, right? But there's been no really good way, if you're a developer, to build across these different chains in an easy way. And so that's like that's the vision and the use case of the Ferrum mainnet. And again, so it comes back down to problems that we know exist because we have these problems as builders and users in the space, and then building solutions to solve for those problems, right? So at the end of the day, for us, 2023 and beyond, and really this has always been our mindset: solving problems, delivering value. We've done that with original staking products going back to like 2019. Our incubator, I think, did that to a large degree. Crucible, but that was very much an inward-looking product. These two next big products, MultiSwap and Mainnet, solving big problems in the space, going to deliver value, I think, in a meaningful way. And a really, I think, important point is that they're outward-facing products, right? MultiSwap, we're building out a widget for projects to put on their site, creating incentives for them, for products to want to adopt it in a financial sense. Same thing with the Mainnet. It's really designed for others to come in, outsiders to come in and utilize it. So I think those two things are going to give us a lot of attention as well. But just to close out, it's all about delivering value, and that's what we're focused on day in, day out.
Fantastic. That's brilliant. And Ian, Nick, we've already discussed a lot of developments and a lot of upcoming news from the product side, from the development side, from the partnership side as well. Do you have any final thoughts that you'd like to share with our community?
I mean, I thought what Ian just mentioned there was really spot on. By the way, just like Crucible was kind of like a token economy issue that we were trying to solve, a community problem that we were solving. MultiSwap is a user problem that we're solving. Mainnet is a developer problem that we're solving. And so solving problems all the way around, I think is, it just kind of hit me when you were saying that, Ian. I just wanted to mention that. That was really well said. I don't know. I maybe should have saved some things from my whole spiel about the roadmap, white paper, quantum portal for the end, because I don't really have anything else to say. I think I spilled all the tea, Tom.
Well, I'll just add a couple things because a lot of this update was focused largely on the tech, which is great. I mean, that's going to be that's really what's driving us just forward, from here on out. But there's a lot of people in the community who still want to invest in early stage projects. That was, something we became successful at in the last bull run, and with the markets getting better, I'm glad to report that we have a whole host of new projects that we are incubating, that we have been incubating for months, sometimes even years, that have basically been in stealth mode because of the market conditions. We haven't been able to raise for them. We wouldn't have wanted to even tried. They weren't planning on launching, but all that's slowly changing. I think we're the crypto winter is slowly thawing. And, ARC is a great example. You'll be hearing a lot more about those guys. But even before that, a project called Goracle, which is going to be basically the only oracle on the Algorand blockchain, supported by the Algorand Foundation. They have aspirations to be a multi-chain oracle as well. They're launching quite soon. They just came out with their incentivized testnet. It's going viral. They're getting hundreds of new people joining their channels every day, utilizing the testnet. And that's going to be leading up to their launch sometime in April and May. And we'll be looking to do sort of a community raise on behalf of Oracle, obviously prior to their launch. That's one that comes to mind. There's another project called Megafans, which is they're kind of in the gaming and esports world. They have hundreds of thousands of users already. Again, kind of like been in sort of stealth mode, right? Like we haven't spoken about them much, but they're onboarding users. They're coming out with their NFT collection soon, updated website, additional product features they're launching, and they're going to be doing their token raise and launch in the next couple of months as well. So there's a lot of, and that's just two, right? There's probably 5 or 6 others that we're incubating currently that will be launching throughout this year. So that utility of the Ferrum token is not going anywhere. We're adding all these other utilities based around these amazing products we're building, but that utility of stake Ferrum and Crucible to get access to top tier pre-sale opportunities, that's not going anywhere. And I'm glad that the market's now getting a little bit better, so we can finally get back to doing that, because it's a lot of fun. That's my main focus day in, day out in the company. So it's it's been a challenge not being able to do that for the past year plus, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So I just wanted to let folks know about that as well.
No, that's great. That's great. So we've had technical updates, and we've also had some pre-sale or information updates on the incubated projects from the incubation side. So that's brilliant. And guys, if you want to keep an eye out on Telegram and Discord for MultiSwap alpha testing for next stages, as well as making sure that you are going to be participating in our monthly social rewards and weekly social radar that we're hosting every single week. You really want to be on that one, on this leaderboard, with a chance to win some CFRM. And there's obviously a lot of other things on a regular basis happening in our community. It's a living and breathing community full of great, passionate, and very friendly people. So come and join us. And Ian, Nick, thank you so much for joining us this month. And let's go and do some work now.
Awesome. Thanks so much, fun.
Thank you so
See
much.
You guys.
See everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Ferrum Network is a pioneer in ushering in the era of interoperability 2.0. Ferrum Network's Mainnet nodes and related infrastructure will bring value, data, and functional interoperability to every chain in the industry. Ferrum also specializes as a multi-chain blockchain as a service DeFi company, adding deflationary mechanisms, token utility, and advisory services to projects across the crypto space.